through the 75 businesses we've looked at, and we've looked at those 75 businesses and really drilled into the horticulture sector. So of those 75 businesses that we looked at, we know that 85% of them have revenues of $3 million or less. And when we looked at that 85% or those 64 businesses, most of them, in fact, nearly all of them, were only focused on New Zealand. And if they were exporting, they were typically exporting into Australia. And when we look at the bigger end of town, those that are sort of $20 to $100 million, they're all in 4 markets or more, and typically, you know, covering most of the planet. So we know that scale means more export markets, and we know it means moving out of New Zealand. So the Scale for Global Growth program is really looking at how we work with this group with $3 million or less and get them moving up the scale. And then we've got one of the companies that's in the $3 to $10 million. How do we get them moving up to the next level? And that's the opportunity we have with this program and the work we're doing between NZT and Callaghan. We know also, just from work that we've been doing in the US, that a startup company is defined as a commercialized business with a revenue of $5 million or less. So we're a nation of startups. So how do we get these startups doing awesome things and getting out to the world, getting the investment and the support that they need? Our purpose between NZT and Callaghan is to really figure out how we help these businesses scale. How do we help them navigate the right services between NZT, Callaghan and the wider network? How do we test and trial things that we may not have at the moment to see if we can do things faster and get these businesses on a journey faster? How do we inform how we do things better? How do we provide the support around businesses if they don't have them? And if they decide that actually they're not an export business, how do we help them figure out what partnerships or other ways that they can think about scaling? You may not be the business to scale. We may have to find ways to help you work that out. How do we connect you? How do we really connect you to the right conversations? And part of connecting is really accessing our wider networks and figuring out who can help us do that. So I do have an ask. I've got a captive audience, 10 businesses with some big challenges. So how do we actually work out how do we connect? So my ask, and someone's going to throw this in a Google form on our chat, is we're looking for businesses that have worked in these areas of viticulture, global berry markets, or indoor growing. Have you got some knowledge you can share to help these businesses validate the market opportunity, help them understand their paths to market? We've got that knowledge sitting in New Zealand, and we need to find out how to connect and tap into it so that we can help businesses grow and understand their paths to market sooner. And then how do we use our wider networks out globally, which is what NZT and Michelle is working on. How do we access those wider networks and plug in wider? So we've got a great opportunity. I've got 3 asks or 3 takeaways for if you're an agri-tech business that is looking to go global. 3 things that you might want to consider. Be bolder sooner. Think of New Zealand as your test bed. This is your trial test bed market, but have in mind what market you want to go to and think about that sooner. Be bolder with your global plans and really get that up front when you're developing your business. Think big, start small. Think like COVID. So start in one market with one farmer and one product. Then grow to 2 farmers, then grow to 3 farmers. Spread like a virus. Get my buttons. And then connect with purpose. And that's about making connections with the opportunities, and you'll hear about lots of connection opportunities throughout this session. How do you connect with real purpose and turn up to a connection opportunity with a clear list of things that you're asking and want to know? And how can we help you connect into those opportunities at the right time? If you're unsure how to have conversations with multinationals or unsure about how to have those conversations, reach out to us. And that's what we're here to support through this, through all the work that we're doing. We want to see you succeed. And I think that's the whole thing with what we're all trying to do. We're trying to help our agri-tech businesses succeed and go global.